Hi yogis, welcome back to Kate Quinn Yoga Channel. Today's practice is geared towards the hips and the shoulders, so we're going to definitely focus on the hips a little more than the shoulders, but the purpose of our class is to find a nice balance between flexibility and strength. A lot of the yoga practice is geared towards these kind of hypermobile, really extended poses like the splits, which also requires quite a bit of stability in the joints of your body. So we're kind of looking for a little bit of both. I'm hoping today's flow will be nice and balanced for you. And just remember that if anything is a little too challenging, to back off. If you feel strong today and you'd like to push yourself, you can always bust out an extra vinyasa or add a couple repetitions to a certain move. So more than anything, always listen to your body. Today's focus, as far as the intention, I'd like you to think about the idea of tapas. Tapas is one of the niyamas in yoga, and what it states, or the word I guess it translates to, is discipline and heat building. So we're definitely going to do both heat building, strengthening, and also discipline ourselves to just kind of push our limits a little bit today. So when you're ready, you can join me on your mat. Today we'll need 2 blocks, and they're optional, so you don't necessarily need them, but they can be helpful. So let's get started. We're going to come onto our backs to begin with some breath work. So sitting all the way on your back, you can keep your knees bent, especially if you have lower back issues. Just make sure that you tuck your tailbone under so that your hands can't come underneath your body, and we can feel the lower back pressed into the mat. And then if you'd like, you can take one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart, and close the eyes. Today, as we come into our body for the first time, just noticing where your attention might be carried today. And without trying to change the breath, just notice how it feels. As we build our tapas today, our heat, our discipline, let's link some breath movement to it. So I want you to visualize, if you have a hand on your belly, as you inhale, that hand or the belly presses into the hand. And as you exhale, allowing the belly to deflate, to relax all of your belly muscles. Every inhale, inflating a little more. Every exhale, trying to let go, whether that's a muscle, a feeling, or a thought. You can continue on with your breathing. Every single breath cycle, just envision that breath growing. Maybe we can spread the breath out to different parts. Visualize it moving to the fingertips or the toes. And maybe visualize what your practice will look like today. Knowing that all challenges are put there to help us question our abilities. So when we get that thought in our head that says, this is too hard, or I can't do that, really allowing ourselves to lean into those challenges and just be playful. See if you can get there. See if you can reach that challenge without overexerting, without doubting. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And when you're ready, just allowing some gentle movements to come in. If you have a block close by, you can reach for it with your feet so you don't have to get up. we're going to place that right underneath the lower back. And that can be at any level as long as it feels safe. You don't feel like you're going to tip over or fall. I'm going to use the middle setting here. So we're moving into a hip flexor stretch. From here, I'd like you to take your right knee into your chest. You can just hold your kneecap, maybe gently pull just a little bit. And you should start to feel this move down the opposite front of your hip. If you don't, you can start to extend your leg a little bit more. Just make sure the foot, or at least the heel, can stay down. And then add a little activity by squeezing your left glute, or the glute of the straighter leg. Using an active stretch, just to bring some awareness to this space. You can also think about sort of pressing your left foot down into the mat. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, just slide your left foot back to the floor. We'll place the right foot down and take the left knee in. Holding again the kneecap, you can draw it in or keep it where it is. And then when you're ready, begin to straighten out the right leg. Keeping the knees hugged in towards each other. Activity through the inner thigh. Again, press down through the foot if you can. Also think about squeezing this outer hip, glute area on the straighter leg. Don't forget to breathe deeply from the belly. Sometimes it's nice to just put your hand on the hip. Feel where you feel the sensation. Deep breath in. And deep breath out to release. Right foot comes down first, then the left. Lift your hips, release your block, and we'll place it in between the thighs. So this is just a great way to keep everything active, to support your postural areas, your hips, your lower spine, all the places we tend to feel pain if we don't have strength. So squeezing the glutes, drawing the tailbone under, we're also squeezing the knees into the block. You can take your feet a little wider to make this more accessible. If you have lower back pain, you can also lift your heels. Take a deep breath in. When you're ready, press down into the heels to lift the hips. Sometimes it's nice to also bring your elbows to the side so you can press into the elbows to help you lift your hips a little higher. Squeeze your block. Wake up the glutes, the outer hips as much as you can. Hug the ribs in. And maybe for a challenge, you can even lift your toes. Come onto your heels. Allow all those shakes and quivers to happen. Maybe take a few pulses if you want more. If you want less, come down and take a break. We have 5 more breaths. One other challenge is to release the block and take some clamshells, opening out to the sides, squeeze outer glute, then draw it back in. You have 3 more breaths wherever you are. Keep lifting your hips as high as they'll go. And on your final exhale, take the hips to the floor. Hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. When you're ready, crossing the ankles, hold behind your knees. Rock up to a seat. And we'll take it all the way through to our downward facing dog. So starting off in table, hands under the shoulders, tucking the toes, lifting the hips. Slide the hips back. Don't worry if your knees are bent. You can pedal out the legs. The main thing I care about today is the shape of your lower back. So we don't want to have the leg straight to a point where now I have to round the spine. Okay, so widen your stance. You can also bend your knees and try to lift your tailbone. Take a moment to just gather yourself here before we start moving a little faster. Some good cues to think about for wrist safety is to press the index knuckle into the floor. You can also try to look at your creases of your elbows. They should face towards each other, and you can also actively try to draw them towards each other. This will wake up the chest. Let your head hang freely. Give it a shake. Ideally, you want to look at the knees. And then draw the belly button into the spine. The Core is our stabilizer today, so as often as you can, check in here. Try to draw the ribs and the belly in. We'll begin with some sun salutations next. On your inhale, just gaze forward. And as you exhale, little baby steps up to your forward fold. We'll hang in a ragdoll position, bend the knees, drop the head. Try to get belly to thighs. Maybe find a little sway. You can look up under your armpit. And we'll inhale to rise, slowly curling up to stand. The head's the last thing at the top. Inhaling to prepare. We'll raise the arms overhead, reaching up, gaze to the fingertips. Ribs hug in. Exhale, fold forward, leaning into the toes. Inhale to halfway lift, lengthen spine, gaze forward. Exhale, plant your hands, stepping one foot back and then the other. Coming onto the toes and then leaning forward for chaturanga. Exhale, lower all the way down, maybe coming to the belly if that feels right today. Inhaling to cobra, shoulders roll back. Just a little pressure in the hands, and then exhale, back to your child's pose. Inhale, we'll curl forward, cat, rounding the upper back, tuck the toes, and then exhale, lift the hips, slide back down, dog. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, little baby steps up to the top. Inhale to rise, arms open overhead. Squeeze the ribs in. Exhale, palms to the chest. Inhale, reach up. Maybe gaze up. Exhale, lean forward. Forward fold. Inhale to rise, halfway lifting. Squeeze the shoulder blades down the spine. Exhale, plant your hands, step your other foot back first. Coming into plank, lean over the tippy toes. Exhale, lower down. Inhale to rise, cobra or upward facing dog. Pressing the tops of the feet into the mat. Exhale, maybe drop the knees. Tuck the toes, reach back. Down dog. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step or walk. One big hop to the top. Inhale to rise, arms overhead. Exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale to rise, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, stepping it back, plank pose. Round through the upper back, spread the shoulders apart. Exhale, lean into the toes, lower down, elbows in. Inhale, lift the chest, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step or walk up to the top, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms overhead. Hug the ribs in. Exhale, palms to chest. We're going to add on a little more here, so preparing for the Ashtanga variation of Utkatasana chair pose, we're going to reach the arms all the way up to the ears. Try to keep your hands right above the eyes. Ribs hug in, squeeze the belly and the legs strong. And then without tilting forward, exhale, bend the knees. Keep reaching upward, strong, focused. Inhale one more time, reach up, maybe sit a little lower. And then exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step it back. Find your vinyasa. Inhale, lifting the chest, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach your right leg up. We're going to flex the foot, so try to imagine there's a wall behind you you're pressing back into. This will keep the hips squared. You're using the strength of your hamstring and your right glute. Deep breath in. Maybe lift that heel a little higher. And then exhale, step your right foot up in between hands. Inhale, we'll reach up. Crescent Pose. Try to squeeze your back leg. Hug the ribs in. Keep a little bend in your knee if you're feeling a little tight in the hip flexor. If you have the space, straighten the leg and press the heel back without losing the core. Hug it in. Inhale here, reach up one more time. Exhale, frame your front foot, step it back. Take a vinyasa or not. Meeting in downward dog, we'll take it to the other leg. Inhale the left leg high, flex your foot. Try to lift your heel. Don't worry about how high your leg goes, just feel the activity of your left hamstring and your left glute. Inhale a little higher. Exhale, step it up in between the hands. Squeeze your back leg strong. Inhale, rise up, crescent pose. Again, hug the ribs in. Practice this now before we start moving into our vinyasa flow. One breath, one pose. Squeeze the ribs, press the heel back. Squeeze the upper thigh of your back leg. Inhale. Exhale, frame your front foot, pick it up, step it back. Plank pose, lower down. On the exhale, inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, back, downward dog. Finishing up this sequence, inhale, look to your hands. Maybe bend the knees and hop to the top. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms overhead, back to our Ashtanga chair. Exhale, keep the eyes in line with the hands. You should feel this in your back. Deep breath in. Exhale, palms to the chest, fold forward. Resting on the thighs, we're gonna find kind of a parallel chair. So I want you to sink into your hips so far as you can, that maybe the thighs become parallel to the floor. You can reach the arms overhead for a little help. That weight coming forward can keep your balance a little better. Deep breath in, maybe even lift your toes, wake up those legs. Exhale, fold again, release. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. We're just gonna step the right foot back and turn the right heel down, preparing for warrior two. Pressing into that front foot. Inhale, reach your right arm up. Coming into warrior two, exhale. We'll move with the breath. You can move with your hands for a little bit of support into reverse warrior. This back hand can come to the thigh or the hip. I care about reaching up, lengthen this side. Okay, so inhale. Just hold it for a moment. Exhale, we'll take elbow to knee. Extended side angle, right arm comes up and overhead. Allow the stretch to move from the fingertips to the toes of your right leg. Hold this for a breath. Now we're going to move with our inhale and exhale. You're welcome to try this without hands for a little core activity. Here we go. Inhale, reach up. So left arm comes up, right arm goes forward. Exhale, lean forward, extended side angle. Left arm back, right arm overhead. Inhale, reach up. Left arm up, right arm forward. Exhale, right arm forward, left arm back. Inhale, last one. Exhale, reach forward. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, we'll lower down onto, or back to plank. Moving through our vinyasa, let's try the other side. First, coming to downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, walk up, back to your forward fold. From here, we'll bend the knees, back to our parallel squat. Arms reach up, try to get biceps to ears, see how low you can go. Maybe lift your toes. Take a deep breath in, and exhale, fold. Inhale to halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, plant your hands, just step your left foot back, warrior two. Pressing into the front foot, inhale, cartwheel open. Exhale, stay here and breathe. We'll move into our flow. Inhale, right arm reaches high. Maybe again, hand to the hip, hand to the thigh. It should not be what holds you up here. Your strength should be what holds you. Inhale. Exhale, come forward, elbow to knee. Left arm reaches up and overhead. Lengthen, reach out through the left arm, press into your left heel. On your next inhale, we'll move with the breath. Inhale, reach your right arm up, maybe left arm forward. Exhale, left arm up, right arm reaches back. Inhale, right arm up, left arm forward. Exhale, left arm forward, right arm back. One more time, inhale, and exhale. Inhale to warrior two. We'll add on to this side. Exhale, lift your heels on the right foot. Just stay on your toes. Try to press your right knee out to the right, so you're actively opening this hip. You should feel it translate to the right glute. Hug the belly and the ribs in strong. If you want a little bit more, you can even take your hand to your thigh and then press your hand into your thigh and your thigh into your hand. Take a deep breath. Exhale, heel comes down. Inhale back to warrior two. Exhale, cartwheel down. Pick up your right foot, step it back, vinyasa. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, back. Turn your right heel to the floor. Step your left foot forward. Warrior two on the other side. Inhale, come up. Stay for the exhale. Ribs hug in. Lift your left heel. Strong arms press forward and backwards. Actively trying to draw that left knee out. Maybe for a challenge, press the hand into the thigh, thigh into the hand. Feel that left glute firing. Super strong, super controlled. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Inhale back to warrior two, drop your heel. Exhale, cartwheel it down. Pick up your left foot, step it back, vinyasa. Meeting back in downward dog. Let's take a big inhale through the nose. Exhale, open the mouth, go. One more time, inhale. Maybe stick out the tongue this time. Lion's breath. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step or walk to the top, forward fold. Extra inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms overhead. Exhale, palms to the chest. So this next sequence, we're going to isolate one leg. We're going to kind of burn it out, and then we're going to switch sides, okay? If you need to, always drop the foot in between, but for a challenge, try to keep your foot off the floor pretty much the whole time, okay? You can also use a chair. We're going to do a single-legged chair. So you can just borrow that for a second and put it right back when you're done, okay? Here we go. We're going to start with the left foot down, hands to your hips, draw the belly in, ribs towards hip bones, cinch that, okay? Right foot, you're going to flex the right foot and just bring it about a foot in front of you with the toes pointed up and the leg super strong. I'm squeezing my thigh here, okay? Take an inhale, arms forward, hug ribs in, don't forget that. As you exhale, bend your left knee, sit your butt back as far as you can comfortably. Keep reaching forward as your hips go back. Okay, for a challenge, maybe you do this with the leg off the floor. Regardless of whether your heel is down or not, keep the leg straight and strong. Inhale, just stand up. Standing leg raise. Exhale, palms to the chest. Lean forward, right leg extends back. Deep breath in, squeeze your right glute, lift the heel higher. Stay for the exhale, maybe draw the knees in. Inhale, take it back out. Exhale, knees in, bend your standing knee. Inhale, lift and reach out. Exhale, just drop your right foot down. Setting up for Crescent Pose. On your toes, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale one more time, palms come to the chest. Take an inhale here, straighten your legs, squeeze the heel back behind you. And then exhale, just lower the knee towards the floor. Don't lose that core. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. We're going back to the top. Exhale, arms reach up, lean forward, take off. Warrior three. Hold it, find your balance. Inhale. As you exhale, bend your standing knee. Slowly rise, standing leg raise. One more time, inhale. And exhale, release. Shake out your legs. And we'll try the other side. I'm going to turn this way so you guys can see on the same side what's happening. So again, ribs and hip bones magnetize towards each other. Ground down through your right foot. We'll extend the left leg out. Squeeze all the way up through the leg, upper thigh, flex your toes. Okay, when you're ready, lean into your back heel. Arms reach forward. Keep reaching the hips back. Try to sink a little deeper. Maybe, if this is easy, lift off. Hold it here. Keep squeezing, 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 especially this upper thigh. When you're ready, press in through your standing foot. Slowly rise. Inhale. Standing leg raise. Exhale. Lean forward. Warrior three. Press into that back heel. Keep a little bend in this standing leg to make it easier. When you're ready, maybe draw the knee in on an exhale. Inhale, extend. Exhale, move in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, me in. Inhale, extend, last one. Exhale, tap it back. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hands to the chest. Deep breath in, ribs and belly hug in, squeeze your back leg strong. Exhale, lower the knee down, just hover. Inhale, reach up, squeeze at the top, that's the key. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Here we go. Inhale, lift. Arms reach up. Exhale, lean forward, take off. Sorry, y'all. Warrior three. Trying to stay in the frame. Stay for the inhale. Bend your standing leg, slowly rise. Standing leg raise. Deep breath in. And exhale, release. Shake it out. Shake out your legs. You can do this. Build in some heat today. All right, let's have some fun. Little hamstring wake-up call. We're going to come onto the toes. So again, energy draws all the way up from the toes to the very top of the head. Imagine a piece of string someone's pulling up here. When you're ready, lifting onto the toes. Try to find your balance. Squeeze your glutes. Squeeze your belly. Just find your balance. All those quivers, all those shakes. That's your body building strength, recognizing its weaknesses. Maybe take the arms out to a T, otherwise palms to the chest. Deep breath in. As you exhale, hinge from your hips. Keep your legs super duper strong. Hips go back, chest comes forward. The slowest forward fold you can manage with control. I'm controlling all of this by my legs. Okay, eventually I'm going to come on down to my lowest point of a forward fold, and then from there, carefully place the heels down. You should be burning all the way up the sides. Once you get down to your forward fold, just turn sideways, maybe stepping one foot back to come into your wide-legged fold. Take a moment here to just breathe. There's all kinds of things you can do. A twist, lifting one arm up. You can do fingertips behind the feet, reaching back. Or even taking a wide-legged down dog. Try to lower the chest. Wherever you are, take 2 more breaths. We'll move out. All right, so same idea, but now in a wide-legged fold. Hands will come to your hips. You can stay on your feet. You don't have to lift up to the toes for this one. That would be really pretty challenging, but you can certainly try it. All right, so hands to the hips or hands to the T position. As you inhale, we're just lifting halfway. So again, ribs hug in, belly is strong. Everything is working. I'm squeezing my legs like crazy to hold this. So if you don't feel it in your legs, you're not using your legs, you're using your back, and that can be scary. Okay, if this being parallel is too hard, just come down a little bit. Okay, the main thing is just to feel it in the outer legs, the backs of the thighs, maybe even the calves or the feet. Take 1 more breath here. As you exhale, release. Turn your toes out. Find a little horse pose here. Bend the knees. Your knees should be right over your heels. Try to sink your hips down just to stretch a little here. Maybe taking forearms to the inner thighs. That might feel nice. Next, we'll move our hands to the upper thighs. Let's take a little twist. Drop your right shoulder down. Turn to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale, left shoulder down. Turn to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale. Just come up enough that you feel like you can actually squeeze your inner thighs. And we're taking goddess pose. Again, ribs and hips towards each other. Squeeze. At the same time you're gently squeezing in, try to press your knees back. And then arms are active. Elbows can press back as well. The more I talk, the less you have to think about how challenging this could be for you. So, I don't know. What are you doing today? How are you doing? Let's take 1 more deep breath. Feel those thighs burning. 1 more exhale. Gently releasing, we'll straighten out the legs. Turn the toes in and then fold forward. Once you get to the bottom, just turn back to the front of your mat. Let's start to slow it down a little bit. Drop your right knee to the floor. You can keep your right hand next to your left foot or even on a block. Let's take this left arm up for a twist. If you have the space, maybe reaching for this back foot, you can even lean the hips back to reach for it. And then once you get the connection, try to go back forward. A nice easy way to make this active is just to stay in your stretch, but press your back foot down into the floor. Nice active hip flexor. It's really good. You can also make this more active by lifting your back knee. Take 1 more inhale and exhale, bring it back down. We're gonna slowly slide those hips back. Again, blocks may be helpful here. Okay, I want you to lift your toes of your straighter leg. We're going to keep the feet super duper flexed and a little bit of softness in the knee, but I'm actively pulling my leg up into my hip. Okay, so this quad should be pretty active. And then with a straight spine, we're just gonna sit here. So see how tall you can sit up. Again, I'm kind of dragging my heel into the mat, trying to pull it back in towards me. That's how we make this really active. You're actually gonna build your flexibility faster because you're using your muscles while you're stretching them. So there's more kind of biofeedback happening, which means hopefully we progress a little faster than if we just sat here in a passive stretch. Lastly, you can point your foot, try to get the toes to touch the ground, squeeze the upper thigh, and then flex it back. Inhale, we'll bend the front knee, slow back into your low lunge, and then exhale, just slide it back. and we'll step that right foot forward. Okay, so again, starting in a twist, that left hand will come next to the right foot, right arm comes up. You don't necessarily need the block if you have the space. And again, there's all kinds of variations, so try to just do whatever you did on the other side. We can reach back for the foot. We can press the foot down into the floor, making this a very active hip flexor stretch. You can always tuck the toes in, lift the back leg, again, for some more activity. Just keep trying to turn your right chest, or the chest to the right, to really allow this full body stretch to happen. Inhale. Exhale back to the floor. Drop the knees, slide it back. Again, maybe come to some blocks. Super flexing that right leg, squeezing the upper thigh. I'm dragging my heel down into the floor and also towards me. I'm pulling it back. Okay, you don't actually want the leg to move too much. It's more just the idea of pulling in. And then again, I'm sitting as tall as I can. Deep breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale one more time. And exhale. Release. Come on back. All right. Next, we're going to take an active pigeon. So again, a block might be nice. You're just going to take your front foot and walk it over to the opposite side to a place where I can get my my shin down onto the floor. Okay. This is an active pigeon, like I said, so I'm not expecting you at all to be anywhere near the floor with this glute. In fact, I want you to sit up as high as you can. So we're going to press the back foot into the mat. You'll probably be on your back knee as well. All right. I'm going to flex this front foot. I think I'm going to show you from this side today. I'm going to flex this front foot as best I can. Again, top of that back foot presses into the floor. And then I'm just going to try to sit up here, okay? So this is a balanced posture. I'm really squeezing my glutes as best I can to hold this, to keep me upright so I'm not falling to either side. Hands can be on the hips, hands can be out. Hands can even go back for a little challenge. But we're going to just fold forward and then sit back up. Okay, so try your best not to feel this in your back. The best thing again is that core engagement. All right, when you're ready, inhale. As you exhale, lean your chest forward. Inhale, press into the shin to rise back up. And then exhale, come forward. We're going to do 5 of these. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward. Feel the burn. Last one, I think. Exhale, forward. Maybe one more. Inhale and exhale. Release. Use your hands to just kind of fold over to the side. You're going to take your front leg, back leg, bring it to the front, and front leg can swing around to the back. Again, lift up so that you can actually support yourself on this front shin. Front foot is super flexed. Back foot is pressing down into the mat. Okay, take a moment to just find your balance. If this is uncomfortable in the knees or the ankles or the tops of the feet, you can always add blankets or pillows under there. Again, hands on the hips or out to the sides. Hug the belly in. Super strong inhale. Exhale, lean forward. Ooh, this one's harder. Inhale, come up. Exhale, reach forward. Inhale, reach up. Hug the belly in. Press down into the back foot. Exhale, forward. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale, come up. All right, so we have one more active move here. I want you to grab a block. If you don't have blocks, you can use books, maybe a stack of books, really anything that's gonna just have a little bit of give, or maybe not too much give, okay? We wanna be able to lean into this some. So you're gonna find what's called a 90-90 position. Our legs are going to be in 2 90-degree angles, okay? So one knee is going to drop in, with the inside of the foot facing the floor. And then your front leg, or I guess the leg you're turning towards, we have the inside of the foot facing up and the knee is opened out. Okay. So throughout this, we want to try to keep this 90-degree shape. Okay. You may get some cramping in the muscles here, especially if you sit a lot, you don't really use your hips the way they're meant to be used. So we're going to kind of just see what your hips can do right now and maybe what we want them to do in the future. Okay. All you're going to try to do here is lift this front foot off the ground and then take it back down. Okay. So I think I'm going to show you from this angle so that we can actually do this together and you can see what's happening. So I have my two 90-degree shapes. I'm going to put the block under this front knee. Okay. It might help to lean a little bit if you're really struggling. You can even use a second block to kind of put your elbow on. Okay, the more you lean this way, the more you're going to have, the more movement you're going to have here. Okay, those of you who have pretty strong hips, pretty open hips, you want to try to do this pretty much sitting upright. Okay, it's not a bad idea to lean in here if you can. If you find that you can barely lift your foot, I mean, we want like an inch as far as movement. Okay, it shouldn't be so easy that you can lift your foot, 5 inches off the ground, but it shouldn't be so hard that you can't lift it at all, if that makes sense, okay? So I'm gonna go right in the middle, I think, maybe right about here. And let's see what we can do today. I'm gonna go for 5 holds, 5-second holds, 5 times, okay? You can flex or point your front foot as well. Try to press down into this back knee for a little leverage. Here we go. On an inhale, take a deep breath in. As you exhale, lift and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Inhale. Exhale, hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Inhale. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Inhale, exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. Inhale. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. That was 5 on that side. So let's just switch to the opposite side. Okay. Top knee, front knee, right on the edge of that block. Back knee comes behind. We find our two 90-degree shapes. Again, maybe lean a little bit over to the side. Maybe I would just try one. And if one is just right, stay there. If it's too easy, you can sit up higher. If it's too hard, you can come down. Sometimes one hip is different than the other two, so we have to honor that. Okay. When you're ready. On an inhale, sit up nice and tall. Maybe press down through that back knee as you exhale, lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. Inhale. Exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Inhale. Exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Inhale. Exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Inhale. Last one here. And exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. Let's just take the feet out in front of you. Palms come behind, and you're going to windshield wiper. Drop one knee in, one knee out, and then the other side. And just do that back and forth a couple times to release. As we start to finish up here, I really want you to tune back into the sound of your breath. If you have another block, you're welcome to use that for this almost last pose, fish pose. Okay, so you're going to put your block is going to go long ways like this behind you. Okay, you're going to come back so that the block is kind of right in between your shoulder blades at the very base of your ribs. So wherever your rib cage ends is kind of where the block would begin. Okay, And then you can come all the way back to just rest on the head. So this would be a nice passive version. If you want to do the active version, you're going to lift up and bring your elbows underneath you. Okay, so your elbows are holding you up. I'm going to slide my hands under my hips, right to that kind of bony part where my tailbone is. Okay. And then as my head goes back, I'm pressing into the elbows to lift the chest. You might have to kind of scoot your hips back a little as well. So we're just resting a little bit of pressure on the head. It's not all of my weight. Really, all of my weight is in my elbows. Keep trying to lift your chest higher away from the floor. This is an active back bend. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more time. Inhale, maybe even lift and float the legs. And exhale, take it down. Tuck your chin to release. Just scoot up a little bit. Lastly, we'll take reclined pigeon or reclined gomukhasana. So one foot's going to cross over the top of the knee. You're going to stay here. You can keep your foot on the ground if that's enough. Otherwise, draw it in. Keep your foot flexed, the foot that we're stretching. Try to kind of sit up tall in your laying down position. If you want just a little more for these final breaths, cross your leg all the way over like you're sitting in a chair, and then hug your shins in to your body. It's a little bit different than reclined pigeon, but it's going to help counter some of the stuff we did today in the outer glute. Deep breath in. Exhale, release. Bring your knees together and your feet together, and just drop both knees over one side, over to the other side. Do that a few times. You can even put your arms in a cactus shape and just try to get some rotation in the spine. Okay, we'll do the last side here. So ankle to the upper thigh, knee comes in, flex your front foot, and try to sit up tall. Deep breath in. Maybe going for the full expression. Reclined gomukhasana on your back for the last 2 breaths. When you're ready, gently releasing both feet to the floor. Let's just take one big full body stretch. So extend your legs out, reach your arms up, take a big inhale, point, lift, lengthen every single part of you. And then as you exhale, just drop it all to the floor. Shavasana. Don't worry so much about what this pose looks like. I want you to think more about how it feels. So absolute effortless. Absolutely effortless. Go through each part of your body and try to relax it. So wiggle your toes and fingers, and then feel how they curl as they let go. Feel your legs getting heavy, your belly finding softness, your ribs and your chest just moving automatically. The arms are heavy, the jaw is soft, the face is calm. And with every exhale, we sink that much deeper into stillness. thinking on the idea of tapas or discipline in your life. Do you feel that you are capable of setting goals and sticking with them? Or are you the kind of person who makes plans but doesn't always follow through? So just understanding or having awareness of where you are in this journey allows us to kind of have an outsider's perspective on what we need to work on. Learning how to take challenges with grace instead of finding frustration is not always an easy thing, and is certainly something most of us have to work on or practice before we can say that it comes easily. Point in our practice, you're welcome to pause the video if you'd like your shavasana to be longer. If you're feeling ready, you can begin to move your toes and fingers, just slowly bringing some movements back to your body. Finding awareness of the breath again. Keeping the eyes closed, we'll gently roll to the right. Maybe resting our head with our arms. And then using the hands, pressing all the way up so that the head is the very last thing. Any comfortable seated position to finish our class. So just finding a moment in stillness to process, notice what you've experienced throughout this class today. Maybe visualizing the parts where you felt really strong and capable in your movement. Or maybe you felt really strong in your mind, even if your body wasn't really cooperating. And just know that every opportunity, every chance we step on our mat is a new experience. So if this was challenging today, it doesn't mean it will be forever. With discipline and patience, we can meet our challenges and exceed our challenges as well. Let's finish up by taking palms together at the heart and bowing the head to the hands, always as a sign of gratitude to our bodies, to this practice, and to those who practice with us. Namaste. Thanks for joining me today, yogis. Feel free to like the video, comment, or subscribe to my channel to receive more from me. Namaste.